Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway Buick GMC. You know why? Because their slogan is, Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means that Gateway has a wide selection of Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, Gateway's got it. When you log into gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. And 3, schedule your delivery. On top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. And I know this because I just got one yesterday. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them at LBJ and Jupiter or at gatewaybuickgmc.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick.
Okay, so here on the Mom Game, this is something that, of course, hits very close to home for me as a breast cancer survivor. And I really wish I had done something like this prior to my shocking diagnosis back when I was 28 years old, when I found out that I did indeed have breast cancer. So I'm very happy to be a part of spreading the word about this event. It is a virtual event called How Well Do You Know Your Lemons? Find out at a free virtual breast cancer awareness event, because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. The event is called Know Your Lemons, hosted by Baylor Scott and White Fort Worth. Their expert panel will teach you about the signs, symptoms, and screening techniques to make sure that you're always feeling your best. It's virtual, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can have all those very important questions answered. The event is on Tuesday, October 27th. You can see here on this graphic on the screen, it's at 5:30 p.m. To RSVP, go to bswhealth.com/cancer awareness. Hello and welcome into our Mom Lounge.
It is our Mom Lounge.
I just decided it's called the Mom Lounge.
I like it.
This is episode 33 of the Mom Game. I'm so excited today because we have not just me and Emily, but one of my other favorite people in the entire world, Dana Larson from Fox Sports Southwest. If you watch sports at all, you've seen her pre and post game on Fox Sports Southwest for what? More than a decade.
It's closing in on it.
Closing in,
right? I think it'll be 20 next summer.
20 years.
I know.
And
That's not good.
Like you're 22.
It's so
I
true.
started young.
It's really young. Really young.
That's amazing.
that.
The stability in this industry.
That's true.
So this is only our second show in here. So you're helping us
amazing.
break in the new days. We're still...
I like it.
Emily hates our shelves.
Looks like one of you has done some work on the shelves. One
person has. It's not me. But we're working on it. It's starting to get a good feel, so we're excited.
This is
to have
amazing.
you. We thought we'd bring some wine in.
Yes.
Some cheese and crackers on a paper plate.
This is literally so perfect for me. I need paper plates. That's
Okay,
how I
good.
do it. Some chocolate, some cheese, and some wine.
We really wanted to
We
make
wanted
you
to
feel
make you feel at home.
in the Mom Lounge.
I have
And
major
so-
anxiety when there's wine not poured and we're just staring at it. So we need to fix this.
True. Yay!
Okay.
I've already poured
look at
one
her go.
myself.
She's used to doing the tasting.
I'm sure you're shocked. I've already poured a glass of wine.
I like your
myself.
pours too.
Yeah, they're heavy. They're
I have wanted to do this with you ladies
I know.
forever and
So
ever.
why not do it on set?
I mean, we have talked how many times at work. We go, wouldn't this even be that much more fun with a glass of wine?
I know.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We never managed to get that together, did we?
Cheers.
But we can
I
today.
love it. My
Cheers.
partner's in wine.
It's so awesome. Okay, first of all, I'm going to start a little from the beginning and then from the end and then go back to the beginning. Or not the end. We're still going. You're not going.
No.
But what?
That's very
20,
morbid,
it's over.
Emily.
We brought you to tell you something.
So how's it going to end for us?
I don't know.
But I meant like recently. What have you been doing? Because I've often thought like, what do I? Oh, I thought somebody said something.
No.
I swear I've only had half a glass of wine. Since the pandemic, sports got shut down and they started back up.
Yeah.
You're Mavs. That's your baby. What did you do during that time? What was it like to get back to the season? And what have you been doing since?
I've done a lot of this, to be honest. No, I mean, it went from 90 miles an hour to literally 0.
Yeah.
Overnight. It was, spring break. It was my daughter's birthday. I'd taken the game off where the announcement was because it was her birthday. The announcement that they were canceling the games and whatever. So, I mean, it was just crazy. And then, I mean, I literally just kind of dove into teaching remotely from home as we all did. I kind of felt like, okay, this is now your job is to like figure out how to get them through this. And luckily, they were able to we came up with other things to do from home. So we started Zooming from home and coming up with this where are they now idea that we'd put out on social media. So I would do some research finding like other former players that were out there. Do interviews, like catching up with them, figuring out how to like turn your house into a Zoom room. Okay, so I discovered I have no single place in the entire house that like looks good. Yeah. You just
I've been discovering that too. We've talked through it on the mom game.
Oh my gosh.
Emily like gives me shit for every single place. I'm like, how about this? She's like, what is wrong with your windows? Or like,
it's
why
so
do you have
hard, right?
Sheet hanging up as a curtain. I'm like, well, no one's supposed to know.
No one's supposed to see that. These are areas that like I never thought anyone would see. And if the lighting was good, the background wasn't, or the background was okay, I would like take pictures off walls and move them and then bring a lamp in and
to create
to like somehow create something that didn't look just crazy because the rest of the house was literally like a kitchen covered with dishes.
Oh yeah.
And kids running around and stuff, and it wasn't ever clean. Like that was the hardest part, was like just literally making something that was not ugly for a backdrop.
Right.
And so we did a lot of that. And then we like bought a bike and went on family bikes, bike rides. You know what I mean?
We bought the bikes. I was like, oh my gosh, we're
biking. We're that family now. Yeah. Like you just you try to come up with things that were like you could like pass the time. But it was nice just because of the fact that we luckily were fortunate enough to not be super worried about losing our jobs in that moment. So we tried to like look at the bright side of some of it and find, fun things to do together. We got the quarantine puppy.
Oh, that's so funny to me.
Some people have a quarantine baby.
Yes.
I was not happy.
Dana got a quarantine puppy. Could you imagine?
I only am pregnant when Emily's pregnant. So I was like, well, it doesn't look like she is, so I better not.
Done.
No surprise baby number 3.
You already have puppy. You already have dogs.
I already have dogs. Right.
Yes.
I'm done.
So we had to, I agree.
Yes.
Same here.
And puppy creating. I'm done with all of it.
Because what was, speaking of Zoom, so I don't know if this happened to anyone else, but I was like, can you guys stop putting your puppies on the Zooms? Everybody on the school Zooms would show their animal. Okay, so we didn't have any animals, and my daughters would be like, we're the only ones on the Zoom that don't have animals.
Oh my gosh. All these like random problems that arise because of Zoom.
Didn't even know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then it just they just kept coming at me. It was coming at me hard, and I kept putting my foot down and finally gave in. And now it's just bananas. Like we've had dogs in the past, but doing the whole puppy thing all over again is so much
What kind of dog?
work. He's a Bernedoodle. It's a Bernese Mountain Doodle.
A
Bernese Mountain Dog mixed with a poodle. And one of my daughters has allergies, so we had to try to do the doodle thing, which is really, really great. I have to say, she's had no issues.
Oh, that's cool.
So thankfully, and so he's black and white with a little brown. He's super curly. I mean, he's cute. His name's Milo. Aww, he's cute. He's really cute, but man, is it a lot of work.
Puppies are
up all night.
Dude. It's
stomach issues. You're just
chewing
like
up everything.
The house is now destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Teeth mark on the bottom of every single thing. Like you can't. I can't relax for 1 second. It's like where is he? Where is he?
Chewed on the plantation shut, like on the shutters.
Oh, exactly. I will catch him. Yes, he's like teething on tile. I go, what is wrong?
Yeah.
Did you know puppy teeth just fall, like literally just fall out, baby teeth?
Yes.
We've had puppy teeth just like fall out.
Oh my gosh, you'll just find them around your house?
Yes, or like it'll fall, he's like gnawing at something and one falls out into my hand. So he's truly like teething.
That would really freak me out.
I know, it's so gross. It's so gross. So
Izzy's
it's
like
been
a
wild.
year and a half and I still feel like she's a total
don't
shit.
tell me that.
Well, sorry.
It's a lot.
And I don't know if different breeds are better. She's a boxer and she's just
a lot of energy and stuff.
A ton of energy.
Yeah.
And she's.
I know.
But I mean, but of course, and like this is stereotypical. But the kids and even Mike, my husband, begging for the puppy. We want a puppy. We want a puppy.
Yes.
And I'm like, y'all, are you okay? If we get a puppy, you need to do this, and you're gonna have to do this. No
Never
one
happens.
does
Never happens, does it?
except for me. No one.
I know.
I walk them every effing day. I take them on a run.
Of course.
Do
all the hard work. And that's the thing that I knew when I finally gave in. I just
know.
say like every day, I can't believe I gave in.
I know.
I can't believe I gave in.
And I'm not saying
This is good for me to hear right now.
Oh, I have literally told so many people, don't do it.
Well, I
which
will
is
say
so
that
sad.
to
But
all the men and children out there who help with their puppies, congratulations. I'm proud of you. It's not happening in my house. That's all I'm
well,
saying.
I do. The girls have been decent, I will say, and one even more than the other is like amazing. I won't call her out; she knows which one. But there's been help, but even still, it's just a lot. But because then they go to school and go to work. And I'm like, oh God, I'm on puppy duty all day. So it's
like 24/7.
Literally,
It's
I
like a
feel like
baby,
I'm
right?
having
Like,
another child. I really do, in a lot of ways.
Well, Anna, my 2-year-old girl, is obsessed with puppies. Like that's her favorite thing is puppies, dogs. We go on walks and it's like puppy everywhere outside. And if I was a good mom, like I'd probably think about getting her a puppy because she's so obsessed. But it sounds terrible. We have 2 cats. They're not very nice to her. Like, we try to make them a thing. Like, oh, play with the cats, and then Blueberry, she'll scratch her. Like, they're terrible kid pets.
Yes.
These particular cats just are not vibing, and so I'm in this weird like in between zone where I'm like, I don't really want my cats anymore. I would maybe trade both the cats in for a puppy.
2 for
like,
1?
Not now, but in a few years.
In a few years.
But I don't think that it works like that.
Right.
I'm here to tell you,
Probably not.
Like, I don't know what to do with these old cats that scratch my kids, but...
Other than count down.
Yes. Okay, so just going back to work, we can talk about get through the work stuff and then talk some mom stuff and have some more fun. But with the work, okay, so then you're in quarantine and then all of a sudden the sports world starts like getting their S together, if you will. We're gonna cuss a little here. I'm sorry.
I know it's hard to loosen up. Like you don't realize you've been.
I slide into it way too easily.
So much.
Woo! Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I
did say S, but we're so the sports world started getting their shit together. I'm just gonna go all out and say it. And all of a sudden it like starts ramping up, and then it's like full speed ahead. So what was that like for you? And then maybe talk us through the Mavs season just a little bit, because all of a sudden the Mavs are playing again and then they're really good and it was a really fun season. We wish they would have gone further, but I loved watching your coverage of it too. And for people that don't know, maybe you can just first say exactly what it is that you do for Fox Sports Southwest.
Okay, so Mavericks pre and post game shows. So before and after every game, just kind of setting it up and wrapping it up. And that is, it was exciting because it was like, okay, here we go. So then you went from 90 to 0 back to 90. It was all these extremes.
Were you so excited to go back? Because I was so excited to go back to work. I was like, this makes me feel like we're getting like normal, even though it's not normal.
It gets the adrenaline flowing again.
It did. And like, just to get my mind kind of like, the synapses firing again and like having to refresh your memory of like how I do this job.
Memorize.
I kept like telling her, I was like, I need a rehearsal.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about how to talk in such a long time for the show, So it was really exciting. It was fun to like ramp back up and go, where were we? Like, I had to have the season, which was different than baseball. Like their start was so delayed. You kind of still did have to refresh your memory, but like to have one half here, all this time off and then like finish it. So we kind of had to, remember where we were, what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then how is this going to work now? Like we're not going into locker, obviously they're going off to Florida. So they're doing these Zooms and that was kind of cool. I thought that being able to do a Zoom from my dining room table to like prep for a show and stuff like that was really kind of like
more
innovative.
Accessibility in a way too, because anyone, you don't have to send a reporter there.
Right.
Like you had people from Europe or wherever zooming in, and I know it was the same way for the NHL hockey. So maybe that was a good thing about it all too.
I thought it did seem like the access was still there.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly there's different levels of it. But for our purposes, we actually felt like we got more on our air, especially in a post-game show, because they were getting players in and out, and we could get the viewers more interviews on a post-game show. You get like 4 players in Carlisle,
right?
Well,
and that was good.
When I was covering Mavericks with you, back in the day, a pregame, it was like literally like Jason Terry.
Yes.
And that was like
who was available,
who would be available to talk.
Right.
And like at least with a pregame set Zoom, it's like you've got like at least 2 players, whatever it was that you probably felt like this is kind of a relief to not have to go into the locker room and
such a relief
and try to like snag someone or
like after a loss,
hot second since
when
I've
they're
been
all
in that
so
setting,
grumpy,
right?
I bet there was
taking that whole out. That was just it was a breath of fresh air to just do it in this just a way that like had everybody. I think everybody too was just like glad to be back. So there was just more willingness to do all these things and like figure it out. So then the game started, and it was exciting. Like I thought the NBA did a great job with the way they did the bubble, the way they had these ramp up games. The seeding games were exciting. There were like interesting storylines that came out of it, and the Mavericks, of course, were right in the mix of all of that. Luka was incredible. It was really fun. I mean, I thought the way some of the bubble games were like didn't go as well as they'd hoped, but then it seemed like they knocked the rust off. So then the playoffs start, and they were competitive. I mean, they were really competitive. Obviously, Luka has just taken
what are your thoughts on
world
Luka? I have to get your thoughts on Luka because you've watched him more than any of us. He's just so fun to watch and cover.
Like it's so insane to think that it's literally like Dirk was amazing and did all this stuff for 2 decades, and now literally like you hand it off to someone who is going to break a record every night he goes on the floor. He's so exciting and he handles himself really well. I think he seems like a good kid who's like really gets it, like gets that he's kind of been given this gift and he's willing to like use it for good, and he's got flair, but he's got substance, and it's just so, I think it's really exciting.
It's like almost too good to be true. You're almost like, this can't be happening.
I mean, but for him to be a European player and to have played the way he has being brought up in, not in this culture and in this NBA setting, right? For him to nail it like he has so early in his career has been so crazy.
It is, and I think he probably just was gonna be this way, but I don't think it hurt that he had 1 year with Dirk, right?
Yeah.
So that was like
learn from a better person.
Formative year to like watch how somebody handles this.
Yeah.
And I think he just totally took that to heart.
Yeah.
And he could see like he can literally own this town.
Oh, yeah.
He can, reach out and be so amazing in the community. He can see that kids are dying to be like him, and he's going to be, a good example for them. And I mean, he's young, and there's a lot of chances, for missteps along the way. But the kid's
just as long as he stays,
just like, are you kidding?
Stay in Dallas forever.
I know.
How do we make him love Dallas even more?
I know.
Just as an aside, I follow his cute little girlfriend on Instagram.
Yes.
And
I just started.
She is so cute.
I've already tried to get her on the mom game, but she hasn't replied.
We both like been like,
you don't know who we are, but we'd love to just talk with you. But they're in I don't even know how to say this because it's like way too exotic for me, and I don't leave like Texas. Mykonos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's where they are right now. She just posted this video. It just looks like a dream. Yes, did you see it?
He's like holding on to her.
They're just like
just like paradise.
So perfect. Can you imagine? I'm done with my NBA season. I'm gonna take my beautiful Slovenian girlfriend to wherever Mykonos and.
Where it is, it's great.
I don't know. I mean, I go to Lano, Texas for my vacation. I'm so in a whole other realm.
I drove out of the 75093 recently and felt like it was like I had really gone far. It's like, dang, I'm out of my zip code.
Okay, so I want to delve a little bit deeper into how you got started, kind of your journey to where you've been, and then I want to hit on because you and I our styles are so different.
Yes.
But we mesh, I feel,
Yes.
so well.
Yes.
Which I love.
Me too.
So tell us where you started. So
Okay.
you went to SMU.
Yes, went to SMU, broadcast journalism degree, because I already kind of had a feel like I love sports. I love journalism too, though. I wanted to write. So I was like, how do I kind of combine these? That was about, so I mean, we're going back now a ways, but like, we started to see females, and I've always been kind of like, which is funny because like I'm not really one that goes out there, but I do kind of like to take risks. I don't really love to follow like, here's what everybody's doing. I kind of want to go see, like, let me try a little something different. So I remembered kind of being like, well, this is interesting. Like there's some women doing like these football games. I'm a I'm a big Broncos fan, and grew up with, okay, so So like I have a John Elway obsession. She has a Troy Aikman obsession.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Right, yes.
Yeah, I'll have to tell
yes.
you a story about that someday.
You will.
So
I love embarrassing stories about you.
I know. But I mean, I think, so not that just the fact that I love John Elway, that didn't mean I wanted to get into this job for that. But it was just kind of like, how can you mix these things? So I started to try to look into it, went to school for it. And then right out of school, had like a minute in sports marketing, just trying to like pay some bills, trying to figure out,
like
what
you're
you're
kind of
doing.
around
Literally
sports.
sending tapes,
Been there.
Sending the
VHS
old
tapes.
tapes, the tapes out, like
you were probably,
snail mail.
after your time or before your time.
I think it was just ending, like when I was getting into
Oh my
it.
God.
I have a couple old ones.
Yeah.
Finally ended up but I got only a job in news in the Colleen Bureau.
Okay.
For a Waco
Big city.
station. Woo-hoo! Like city council, I mean.
School board meetings. School board meetings.
It was, and I couldn't get out of there fast enough. I remember doing like my first live shot in front of like a burning haystack or something, and I was like, yeah, this is not for me. I need to not do this. So luckily I talked that news director into letting me, like when that person left sports, I was like, please give me a shot. So just those kind of things. So ended up with a job in Waco, then in Austin covering UT. It was amazing.
Right. I forgot about that.
I had really good experiences like the whole way. Baylor was fun when I was there doing that. The stuff at UT was great. And then got up here, and it was like a roller coaster for the first few years here. And just
Things
kind
were
of rode
changing
the
so
wave.
much,
Yes, we tried to do like a sports report, a nightly sports report. Covering, like one night it would be the Stars, one night it would be the Cowboys, one night it would be it was everything.
I remember hearing about it, yeah.
Remember when we took those pictures?
Which have surfaced recently, by the way.
They have surfaced.
Headshots.
Are we like laying on the desk or something?
Like it's straight Anchorman.
You're like,
It is.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Did
Did we question it at that? There was a lot of things at the beginning stages. I was sort of like,
Are you like so happy to be there at that point? You're like, I'll do
right.
whatever.
Yes, you're too
I'm in
young.
sports. I'm in Dallas. I'll do whatever you tell me.
To say anything.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Like I went into had to do with this company provided us clothing, and so one of our higher ups went with me and I had to model clothing for him.
Oh.
And I was brand new. And I had no idea. I was just like, this is what he's got to approve my clothing. Like, this is part of the deal. Looking back, I'm like, that motherfucker.
Right?
If I would have known, like
what is that?
versus who I was, I would have chewed him up and spit him out so fast.
Yes, you would.
But
yes, you would have.
When you're 2 months into a job,
I know,
and they've got you by the
Well, and I have
it's
recently really given that piece of advice to younger females in this business is to not allow that to happen, because when you're young and you're inexperienced, you're just afraid to lose your opportunity, and that should not be the case. Now I hope the world has changed a lot since then too, and I really think behavior like that is just not tolerated in the workplace anymore, and hopefully this business. So I don't know if that would have even happened now, but it's like you have to really stand up for yourself matter what.
And especially like you said, when you're young and when you're new, because you're so thankful for this opportunity. I was so thankful to have that job at Fox Sports Southwest. I had, I was beyond excited.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously I would have known if there was something egregious. You know, if somebody,
Yeah, it was like borderline enough to where you could maybe convince yourself that was okay.
Right, but I was like, okay, I mean, this is what maybe that's what they do with the big network. You got to go try and close, and he's got to approve them, and you know, I'm getting them for free, so this is what we do. Right. And so you just don't ever know. It's just it's really a weird. And like I said, the climate now has changed so much for the better that I don't think.
Yes, thankfully.
I hope to God those things don't take place. But like you said, I do tell, you know, when I talk to young women, like these are the things to be on the lookout for. Like if something is in the back of your mind, like ask someone, ask me, ask someone, is this normal? Is this right? You know what I mean? Because if not, you just feel like, God, I don't want to call this guy out because what if it means this? Or, you know, what if it means that, you know, he's the one that effing hired me? It's like, what am I, you know? It's just, it's a position you should never be put in. Never. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about our styles and like how because we always got along well. Yes. But I feel like the more we worked together and even the more stark our differences became, the closer we got. Yeah. Do you feel that way? I do. That's so sweet. Yes, I totally do. Because I couldn't I just admire you to like the umpteenth degree and what you do and how you've gone about it. I feel the same way about you. By the way, I could cry thinking about you. And when I first met you and just literally how hard you have worked. To get here, I could not be like more proud of anyone. Thank you. At all. I will say, when I got into the business, we're going to go back to her talking about you. But when I got into the business, you two were like the ones that I looked up to. You really were, because I was an intern at Fox Sports Southwest, like 2007 or whatever that was. And you two were the first ones I met. And you guys have been, and I know it's not just me, to tons of girls that have been through there and are still there and have gone on to other places. Two of the best role models that you could actually have in this business. And I'm not just saying that, but I'm like so thankful that I'm still friends with you guys and that we can be sitting here today and you guys are both still killing it in your career. I'm like doing weird ass radio. I don't know. Which is amazing. It is. They don't let females in. No, I was seriously, that is exactly what I was going to say. Yes. We would not have been welcomed. I remember having conversations with you and you're like, I'm not leaving Dallas. I'm not leaving Dallas. I'm not leaving Dallas. I was like, okay, I'm just telling you, love you, and I hope that works out. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And you're like, that's fine. I don't care. And I'm like, I know. Okay, all right. I just did like whatever I could just to stick around. You kept there's a point where you decide like, okay, I really, like, where do I want to be and what do I want to do and how do I make it work? And I just wasn't willing because I loved it here. I had some family here and all of that. But also, like, one of the reasons I never changed my name, and I've never told y'all, is neither of you changed your name. Oh, right. And I was like, that's what I was used to. Yeah. Just ever since I got into the business, I knew Emily Jones, Dana Larson. I knew you were both married and had different last names now. But I was like, well, they didn't change it, so I'm not going to change mine. So I'm still Julie Dobbs. Is Kelly pissed at us? No. Like, bad examples. No one likes their husbands around here. Exactly. No, but that's just how much I guess you guys have both influenced me. So just to put that out there. Sweet. But you were doting on Emily. So. Yes, I will dote on Emily. I mean, I just think, okay, so it's just amazing to see like how willing you are to put yourself out there. I cannot do it. I just I have, I guess I've just, I don't know, spent like too much time in my own head and, worrying about too many things, whatever. So I totally admire the fact that you'll just take risks that I would probably never I just wouldn't go there for fear of whatever happening. And it's been like the best thing you ever could have done. I think it's opened 1,000 doors for you, and good for you for like knowing who you are, being like supremely centered about that. And yes, and being I know I'm not used to being the one that has to shut up, but no, and then just and then
taking advantage of whatever that led to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I would like to tell you how I admire you. I've always looked you. I've never seen someone be more prepared. I've never
is all I
seen
do.
someone. No, it's not. You're so prepared. You're so professional. You're so good. Like.
So good.
You're like it's like
so
you told the
professional.
story about the selfie. Remember when I sent you the thing with the selfie to push this button and it came back and I looked like a goat.
Yeah, the selfie that we we laughed about for 20 minutes on this show.
And Carla Janeway sent it to me and it was like this thing, do this trick and it'll do your emojis. Well, it snaps a picture of you and I'm like,
Dana doesn't even remember. Yeah.
Dana, and then of course Dana comes back and it's like like this most beautiful. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't. She doesn't even have a double chin when she's looking down.
She's perfect.
What's happening
Which
here?
is just so funny because like all I am is filled with like second guessing and
You would never know it.
like never
You wouldn't.
feeling like worthy or that I know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
You
so
shouldn't be
that's
way.
why that's just why the
Yeah,
only thing
but-
that's ever given me any kind of like ability to do this job is to just over prepare
And
for
you
it.
do, and you're so prepared.
That's it.
But you're so polished, and you're so professional, and you're so like I feel like I'm a shit show on the air the vast majority of the time. And
Same.
You're just like so
Boring?
good at, no,
No.
you're so good at what
That's
you do.
why you've been there for 20 years and
That's
you've been in the same
right.
place and like people just recognize you and know you. Dana Larson knows she's been there forever.
You're so consistent.
A mainstay.
Like just
Yeah.
consistent. And I'm like, damn. Like I mean, I anchor one time if I'm at the desk.
But
I
it's
can't even
totally,
read a
that's the
fucking
thing
prompter.
though.
I
Like, but
can't-
if I switched, I would be terrible trying to do what you do.
Well, and that's what
you know
we
what I
talk-
mean?
and I think
right.
that's why
it's
we-
the
I
thing.
don't
It's like
know.
it, and
But-
the world's just ended up
Right.
sort of settling in the right place.
But I do
you know?
love the fact that the more we realized our differences, the
Yeah.
closer we became.
Yeah.
Which you would
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that would be a
Yeah.
natural reaction.
And I think too, like I've thought about this so much recently, and it's really hard when you're trying to like come up in the business. But like, man, do we need to just wrap our arms around other women
Yeah.
in the business? You've always been great about that. I think you really have. And it's like, sure, there's supposed to be some sort of competitive thing, and that's hard to like peel through
Yeah.
and like get out of the way of. But if it's like we're all different and there's a lot of different jobs.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And so if you figure
Yeah.
out what you're good at, go do that and then like be really like that, be great at it. And I'm going to be so happy for you for being great at that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
There's room. I think that for a while it didn't seem like there was enough room
Right.
for all.
There's
of
like
us.
5 jobs for
Right,
women
right.
in a big
It's
market.
very
And that's
true.
it.
And now,
You know?
and now
That's
that
very
you've got, I
true.
mean, because 20 years ago,
That's
that.
a good point.
Not
Maybe
not every team had a TV contract that you had.
Yeah.
There's so many more
There are.
opportunities now. There's so many
Teams
more
have
seats
every
at
team
the
has their
table.
own reporter. Every
Yeah.
team has their
I mean,
own
anyone
digital
with a
reporter.
phone is a reporter
Yeah.
at this stage
Yeah.
of the game. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Put
With, like,
yourself
a
on
camera.
Twitter and you could get a job.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and I think too that comes with when you get secure in where you are and
That's
where you
true.
are professional and where you are personally,
Yeah.
to where you're like, I'm not, you know, it. And I always say this, like with my job with the Rangers, people always ask, "What's next? What are you going to do next?" I'm like, I have no clue. Like this to me is like the icing on top of the cake with the ice cream on top, and this is the cherry. Like, and this is it. I love what I do, and when I get done, and I'll be like, I'm so grateful for it. And I'll probably be bitter because if it's not on my terms or whatever. But I mean, I'll look back and say, but I'm not reaching for something else. I think once you get to the point
That's
where
true.
you're not,
That's true.
I'm not looking
Yeah.
for anything else. I'm not looking
Yeah.
for a network job. I'm not looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for anything else.
That's a good
And so
point.
once you get to that point, you're like, I'm happy to share whatever I got
Right.
with
Yeah.
you. And I tried to do that earlier on, only because we've talked about this before, because I got the Heisman so much from people that I was like, if I ever get to the point where someone actually wants my advice about something, I'm going to tell them yes. Because I had so many people that I reached out to that didn't do that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And it's an ass whip at times.
Oh, sure.
Because
But-
I'm trying to live up to
Yeah.
that promise that I made
You
myself.
did, right. And
But-
now everybody wants to
Well,
know,
not-
how do I be Emily?
No,
Yeah.
not even that, but just like even people wanting like sports marketing advice or
Yeah.
anything like that. Not people wanting to do what I do
Yeah.
or whatever. And so you just, but like I said, once you get to that place where I don't have a next job. Like there's no next job.
Because
for
you have
me.
like 10 jobs.
Because I do have 10 jobs.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone work as hard at as many things.
Well,
that's another massive difference. I can like barely do this job and mom.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, woo! woo, I am just up to here. I also know my limits.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. Once you kind
So
of like
important.
realize who, I'm like, no, for me, like, ooh, this is it.
Right.
Because I need to like just kind of focus on this. I feel real scattered and that makes me feel unsettled and I don't like that. So I need to just kind of focus on what I can and
I
it's
think
hard
that's
enough,
a great
you know?
point to bring up. Like it's not. There's no one way to do anything, to do any job, to do anything. You have to know yourself, right? And
that's not easy because I mean it's really hard. This is such a world of like you guys know I do not do social media, and that is like to my detriment most likely in the end.
But what does it really matter?
It's like for me, it creates like a really not healthy headspace.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured that out really early.
Good for
and
you.
I had to, so that for me, but that stuff's hard because you're constantly like, why I should do that. Shoot, I should do that. Why am I not doing that? Dang it. Why am I? And you're like,
can you imagine being 13?
No.
And on
I know.
So what are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Your girls
right.
are
12. Reese is 12 now.
So
I
12
know.
and 9.
12 and 9.
So what are you?
Yeah.
Tell me. Okay.
I know.
Oh
my
what's
God.
happening?
It's so crazy. First of all, she's taller than me. Like I have like a grown child. It's so wild and it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like it is cool. It's really cool. I loved like your kid's age.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like I think when you talk about them, I'm like, I was like, this.
You can borrow them.
I want to borrow them. I want to snuggle and hug and all that again.
I know.
Because now she's like taller than me.
Like a real person.
Yes,
you can like
and
hang out
like
with.
real, and she like she
Yeah.
actually like there's a lot of times she'll say stuff to me and it's like smarter than anything I would have said, and I'm like, oh my God, or
But then you're like, that's my daughter, so I can take
so
credit.
maybe I should.
I can take credit for
That's so
anything she
true.
says.
That's true. You know, and it's awesome to watch them like find things they love and figure out who they're gonna be. Like she plays volleyball and she's like kick ass. You know, it's so fun, and I love it. And we're so into it. My husband and I are like crazy about it. You know, and I mean we're full on like soccer volleyball parents.
So I remember us having
I know.
conversations in the Rangers press box. Like,
Yes.
We are not dictating our schedules by kids' sports
We were
schedules.
like,
That is effing ridiculous. We are not doing. Already
that
Henry's
is
9. We're doing this.
all we do. That's all I do. It's all I
Yeah.
do. I mean, literally drive from just one thing to the other, and you don't, and then you realize like you wouldn't miss it for the world.
It makes
Like,
them so happy.
oh my
It's
God,
what,
it
they
makes
love
them
it,
so
and they're
hard. I
so
know.
into it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It is. I know. I don't even remember what you asked me. I totally just went on
were
some
just talking
random
about your
thing,
kids, but yeah.
Well, and
Okay,
so
the
it
social
is
media thing. What
really.
do you-
It's well, so it truly because I'm not on it that much.
Right.
I have like not a great grasp, and so anyway, she wouldn't even want to be on the things I was on. That is so not cool.
Oh, so like
she's on TikTok. TikTok is
That
where
was-
it's
I
at.
wanted to ask about
TikTok is the thing, and
I'm so scared
we've
of
had to
TikTok.
like what I'm starting with is like. Your account is private, like you don't just like let the world see.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have likes. I don't want you to care about having likes.
Does she though? Like, isn't that all?
No, she doesn't care. Right now,
See, and I
she's
think
been
that's
amazing
where
about it.
You're gonna be so because you don't really do the social media thing much, and you're not into it. But like my kids, I'm worried like. Because they see me constantly posting and promoting stuff and doing this. And so I'm
Hattie's taking your selfie.
Hattie's taking my pictures with a glass of wine and a bottle. And like, I mean, all that.
She's gonna be posing at night in her room.
Hattie, is the light good?
So
do you see the
literally.
label of the
I'm
wine?
going to have an uphill battle to climb.
Well,
But you'll have it regardless.
Yes, you will.
But I'm gonna have it regardless.
It's okay.
But just like you're like, oh, you put yourself out there, that's so awesome. Me, I'm like, you don't, and that's so awesome. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should rethink this whole fucking thing.
No.
It's too late, love.
Right.
It's too late, and
She's
she
a
would
bottle.
be. That's the thing. It just is what it is. You can't like. You can only do your best, right? I mean, geez, that's all we can do.
That's the best advice ever.
I mean, just do what you and then like don't kick yourself. I mean, I've been, even with all of this whole COVID stuff, and you're like, should I send them to school or not? And you're like second guessing every question, and someone gets quarantined, and I text my husband, oh my God, we should never have sent him back. And his response, which irritates me because it's always so smart,
And very rational, and
very rational,
deliberate.
and very
Our
calm, and I'm
husbands are
like,
very the
God.
same. I think all
I
three.
you're a rational one. How'd you find more rational?
Thank you. I wish Jay's like,
How did you find someone
you know, he
perfect.
just says like, don't beat yourself up
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to make like a poster
Right.
that just is like wrapped around the interior of my house that says, don't beat yourself up for this, because it's just, you have to just kind of like do your best to like think things through, make the decisions, and then go from there. I mean,
Right.
God, it's just like, it's so hard. So on the social media thing, I mean, I think it's just, try to keep an eye on it, have the big conversations about it as much as you can.
Yeah.
Make sure that, because what I am keeping out there for her is like, I do ask the uncomfortable things. Like, you know, I said, I watched this documentary the other day and it says that the tweens are you know, are going so far as to, you know, I mean, I don't want to take this down, but like are, you know, really, really upset and want to like do drastic things to their
Right.
lives.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she was like looking at me like, oh, okay, Mom, I get that. I will tell you, I'm not, you know, I'm not there. I just think you have to keep like, do your best to like keep an open line of communication.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
I can't imagine being like, it was just so different in our age, being in high school and junior high. I can't imagine having a tangible way to show your popularity.
No, it's, I mean, that
Like,
horrible.
because everyone was trying to be
Yeah, it was, like,
popular, but there was no
horrible.
like button.
Like
Like
a
homecoming queen was enough, or
right, like,
whatever.
oh, so and so has 800 likes on their
Class
picture.
favorite,
Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine.
I can't even imagine. Can't even deal with it.
It's overwhelming.
Crazy.
I know.
So with your girls, and obviously being a wonderful mom and so busy with work and working nights a lot.
Yes.
Like, how has that been, the juggling for you? And were there ever times where you were like, I can't do this, or I just want to go be a full-time mom? You know, because I think we go back and forth. I mean, we're always, anytime you're at work, you're like, I could be with my baby.
Yes.
It's hard.
There's so many nights in the
It's so
Rangers
hard.
press box that Dana and I have had that exact conversation.
Huge deep conversations,
And when it's
sometimes
the bottom of the 12.
tearfully.
And they just won't
It's
freaking
4
finish
hours
a
and
game.
45 minutes.
Like someone
a
pick
game.
the ball.
I know.
12 to 12. And it's
Yes, exactly. I mean,
how
I think
how
that
do you
is.
deal with that battle, I guess?
It is literally just like like get through the night. Like you can't. Sometimes when I go too big picture, I get like completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And super upset about it, you know. And I'll look through like I want to tell you like I went through that age and felt so sick about the stuff I was missing.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, okay, here I am. They're older. They still
Like, I
feel
made it.
really close.
Yeah.
Like we have a good close relationship. If I miss stuff, it didn't drastically like change my life or theirs. You know, if you can take a night off or whatever, make sure you don't miss the important things.
Right.
I think the Sid Marshall actually told me this, and the Mavs CEO, who has given great advice to women that I think I like really won't forget. One, she told me like, what you can't try to have balance. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, there's no such thing. So just kind of like figure out what your priorities are. Have like a list of like, what are the big things? I'm not going to miss a birthday. I'm not going to miss the first of this or the last of this. Like prioritize those things. Make sure you're there for those. Do your best for the rest. You know what I mean? And so some of those things, like I've just tried to remember that. And luckily, the people that I work with have been great, and they work with me to try to make sure I get to stuff. But I will say, like, it has been nice not working nights. During this stretch, and I am just I don't miss anything, and I'm like, while I can, I'm gonna drive 50 miles.
I'll do everything
every night and just be at everything and whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's like when Kelly got home from the bubble, they sent out an email because he was gone for 66
longer
days.
than the baseball season lasted.
Yeah, longer than the Rangers season. They sent out an email from the school, and they're like, who's available for this field trip, which was actually today. And then I was like, my husband? I like started signing him up for everything. He took the kids to a field trip today because, but I'm feeling like I can't do any of that. You know, mine's the daytime stuff that's just sometimes hard to fight through, and being available of like, oh, she had an accident. Can you bring her like some new clothes up at school? I'm like, no,
See, that's such a good point. I always felt so bad about being gone at night.
Yeah.
And then, but we could be there during the day.
Yeah.
So you have to like look at it like, and you're not missing the night stuff, you know?
Right. And I think it's
Just,
It's always
about
going to be
finding
some,
that.
when you're working, there's just always going to be some give and take. It's
Yeah,
For
and I think
sure.
if I was just sitting at home, I wouldn't feel fulfilled. You know, there's something about like the reason why we're all working and the reason why we're still working.
And there's
the reason you've been there 20 years. You know, it's just filling that part of your soul, for lack of a better term. Like you have to feel fulfilled in life. And so it's all about just, I always say it's about putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Well, it is funny too to finally get the kids old enough to actually appreciate what we do. So before they were so sad, like mommy's gone.
Right.
And then you just like, oh my God. Now they're old enough to, and I remember some, like Michael Young would talk about this sometimes too, you know, like, they go, oh, wow, you did that last night, Mom?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you were at Dirk's final game? All the kids were talking about it. I can't believe you were there.
Right.
Or, you know, and all of a sudden they like appreciate sort of what you do.
Yeah.
So to have like gone through that and gotten to that stretch and they like, wow, what Mommy does is kind of
And
cool.
it's
All of a
gotta
sudden
make
I'm
you
like,
feel
oh my God.
finally got here. Well, Dana, it was so awesome to have you on. I mean,
Thank
it
you.
was so great just to catch up.
It was.
I know.
wine.
I know. So fun.
It was fun not to have to ask the questions.
I know.
I love that
I
sometimes.
know. Well, I think I speak for both of us when we both love you, we both admire you,
Yes.
and we're so
Right
glad
back
you're
at you.
here.
Yes, you'll have to
I
come
love
back.
your podcast. This is so cool.
Okay,
you
thank
guys.
you. Got one more
Have
So
to come
great.
back
This
to,
is
to
fantastic.
the mom lounge soon.
Okay, yeah, fill her up. Go
Yes.
I can't cheers with nothing.
All right, cheers.
My ladies.
Cheers.
All right, Mom, you're out. You gotta
Cheers.
throw up the peace sign.
Mom game out.
Go.